My hands were covered in blood. There were dead bodies laying on the ground. They were all burned up and bloody. The smell of flesh, smoke, and gunfire was thick in the air. However, this is a typical day for an army range in the Middle East. This, I believe, freedom isn't free. I grew up in a military family. My grandfather served in the U.S. Army. My dad served in the Air Force. However, this is not the reason I joined up in the Army. I joined up because I was taught many values such as loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage for your country. I signed up for the good of the country. I went into the Army at the age of 17. I left 1 week after I graduated high school. When I got to basic training, I met a lot of people just like me, people who have the same belief. I trained there for 12 weeks, learned stuff about small arms, combat lifesaver, hand-to-hand combat, and so many more things. However, the most important thing I learned was protecting myself, my fellow soldier, my country, and also teamwork. 4 years later, Operation Iraqi Freedom started. There were a lot of protesters against the government and the military at that time. There are still a lot of protesters today. Protesters have burned flags and held protests outside in the courtyard. There are many anti-war organizations around the United States of America. They all preach how it's their freedom of speech to protest and say whatever they want. That is true, it is their freedom to do all that. However, every time I think about protesters, I remember my experiences in Iraq. I'm an ex-soldier nowadays, at least for the time being. I have spent 3 years in the Middle East out of the past 10 years. I have seen soldiers die, I have seen battle wounds, I have seen the enemy die, I have been to many military funerals. I'm one of many soldiers who have fought for this country. A lot of people do not understand what it's like to put their life on the line for a greater cause, but I have lived this. We do not go because we are soldiers, we went because we are Americans. I will always have a special place in my heart for the past, present, and future soldiers, and this is why I believe freedom isn't free. It's won by soldiers on the battlefield.